Here's an on-screen graphic you may have seen a lot of lately. You've seen it on MSNBC, on CNN, online, maybe even on Fox. I don't know. But this is the graphic that has been all over the place. And it is the shorthand version of telling the story of this month's Rush Limbaugh scandal. These are all the companies that have said they are dropping their advertisements from Rush Limbaugh's conservative radio talk show since the start of this latest Rush Limbaugh is outrageous controversy. This latest controversy was, of course, over the Republicans' anti-contraception legislation and Mr. Limbaugh's decision to support that legislation by attacking a Georgetown law student as a slut and a prostitute and someone who ought to post sex videos of herself online because of her temerity in advocating health insurance coverage for contraception. All of these companies used to advertise on the Rush Limbaugh program, and now they do not. And unless you listen to the Rush Limbaugh program, there are probably a bunch of these companies up here that you've never heard of before, that you've never seen the logo before, that you've never seen displayed on television, described or even referenced. But now these companies are getting probably 98% positive national attention for rejecting their sponsorship of Mr. Limbaugh's program in the wake of his comments that horrified just about everyone, even if you agreed with his underlying political position. Now, this is a lot of advertisers, so maybe let's look at them one by one, yeah? It's a lot of advertisers to lose. And Mr. Limbaugh has lost a couple of radio stations already that carried his program. And so I do think that this scandal has hurt Mr. Limbaugh's bottom line a little bit. Mostly, though, he's got a pretty big bottom line. And mostly, I think he probably doesn't mind this scandal all that much. I think that Rush Limbaugh is of the even bad publicity is good publicity school of thought. We'll have to see as this thing develops. It's possible he might have, pulled a Don Imus, pulled a Glenn Beck here, and he might be done. But it's also possible that this is one of those periodic be outraged by me Rush Limbaugh scandals that just pop up every now and then, but mostly have the effect of just making him more famous. Can we put up some of those sponsors again? The sponsors list? Thank you. Feast your eyes on that. For these companies, their role in this scandal has turned out to be positive, right? They are famous for a positive reason now. And perhaps more importantly, because of Mr. Limbaugh's singular role in Republican Party politics, even if this scandal does not hurt him or his radio show, it can hurt Republican politicians who can't bring themselves to criticize Mr. Limbaugh because they're afraid that he'll criticize them back. And so because of their fear of his power over Republican-based voters, some Republican politicians end up not condemning, if not implicitly endorsing his comments, and that can hurt them very much.
Ms. Fluke, and the rest of you feminazis, here's the deal. If we are going to pay for your contraceptives and thus pay for you to have sex, we want something for it. And I'll tell you what it is. We want you to post the videos online so we can all watch.
How to say this, which is, it's not the language I would have used.
My campaign is about jobs and the economy and scaling back the size of government, and I'm not going to weigh in on that particular controversy.
Nothing to say. I don't want to talk about it. After those comments from Mitt Romney last night in Massachusetts, David Axelrod from the Obama re-election campaign, he held a conference call with reporters today in which he asked Mitt Romney if he couldn't stand up to, quote, the most strident voices in your party, meaning Rush Limbaugh, how can he stand up to Ahmadinejad? How are you going to stand up to the challenges of the presidency? These are tests. Presidential campaigns are tests. You are tested every single day in different ways. The Limbaugh thing was a test of leadership, and you have them all the time. And Mitt Romney has failed those tests in the campaign. In an overall sense, this scandal is disgusting, right? But in terms of its short-term effects, it is a blessing from on high for any Democrat lucky enough to be running a campaign against a Republican who is too chicken to criticize Rush Limbaugh, even for comments like these that have horrified the nation. It is also priceless free advertising for those sponsors. Can we put up the graphic again? For those sponsors who took a brave stand against Mr. Limbaugh's horrific comments. This has turned out to be great for them. Today, the ongoing moral catastrophe that is Rush Limbaugh had one more unintended positive consequence, which had to come by Mr. Limbaugh attacking another young, smart, accomplished American woman and dragging her name through the mud for something she did not do wrong. But sometimes having a universally reviled enemy is more valuable than having the greatest, most powerful allies. The latest woman to be attacked inexplicably by Rush Limbaugh joins us for the interview tonight. That is next.